What's going on, guys? Welcome to Hybrid Movies episode 13. I'm your host, Nick, and I'm joined by Michael, aka Febo34.
What a dooski, guys. Glad to be here.
And we also have James with us.
Hi, Diddley-o, neighborinos.
Yeah, and that's it, actually. The other two guys weren't able to make it. I believe Luke is still at a English convention in a different part of his state, I think, or possibly another state, actually. I'm not sure. I know he was going on this huge trip this weekend. I think Antoine is also sick, so unfortunately they weren't able to join this episode. But how are you guys doing today? James, what have you been up to?
Not a whole lot. I took my little brother to go see Ghost in the Shell today.
Okay.
Nice.
Yep, I'll be sharing my thoughts with that soon enough.
All right. Michael, any new updates from you?
No, today I was just reliving my childhood. Just did a video or two, and then went to the skate park, which was pretty nice. And then now I'm here for Hybrid Movies.
That's why I wanted to take a picture of you at the skate park.
Yeah, oh my god, it was the weirdest thing. So, like, one of the kids was like, "Oh, sure, you do YouTube?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah." And then he just like, "Can I take a picture of you?" And I'm like, "Sure." And I had thought he meant a selfie or something, right? But he just took a picture of me like I was a wild Pokemon. It was so awkward.
He was getting you
Shout out
those
to you, Charlie,
Pokedex.
if you hear this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And here we see the wild YouTuber in its natural habitat.
Yeah, he was a cool kid though. He was on a scooter. Anyway,
Like,
how about you, Nick? What you
what's
been
up
up
all
to
the
today?
scooters? And the...
I don't know, bro. I guess 2017 skate parks are now predominantly run by scooter people.
The scooter gang. What's new with me? Nothing really. Just been constantly working on videos and stuff, and then I have the convention
somewhere tomorrow?
WonderCon. Yeah, that's it.
Nice.
So I mentioned that last episode, I think. So not too exciting, but yeah, that's about it. So with that out of the way, let's get into the movies that we saw. So I think James is actually the only one that saw a new movie this week, and that was Ghost in the Shell. So what did you think of that?
Yeah, so I took my little brother to go see Ghost in the Shell. He was really excited to see it because he's a pretty big anime fan. He hasn't seen the original one, but I'm not sure if I should show him. He's only 13. So yeah, he and I went to go see it, and I was very curious about this movie because, like, if you guys look on RottenTomatoes.com, I think right now it's currently like at a 42%. So I'm thinking, so I'm thinking, okay, let's see where the problem is, and we're watching this movie, and I'm thinking, like, I don't get it. Like, this movie is actually pretty solid. I mean, it's not as good as the original, but it's still pretty solid in its own right. I mean, so watching this, it's visually creative. Like this is the type of movie that you'll want to watch in 3D and like on an IMAX screen, because like you look at the city and it's amazing. Like, it's very creative. It's very colorful. It's pretty much a live action version of what you would see in the anime or the original movie.
Okay, that's cool to hear that they kept true to that aspect visually, at least.
Yeah, visually it was great. I even like the characters. Casting controversy aside, I thought Scarlett Johansson did great as the Major.
All right.
My favorite character is the guy that they got to play Bateau. I thought he was great. He was probably my favorite. The interesting one was for the chief, they had Takeshi Kitano playing him, and I'm like, I wonder, like, how's his English gonna be? Nope, he doesn't speak English. He's the only one that speaks Japanese, while everyone else speaks English.
They kept one person true.
Yeah, which is kind of weird because, like, they're going back and forth and, like, okay, why is it that he's the only one speaking Japanese, everyone else is speaking English, yet they can totally understand each other? Yeah, so that kind of didn't make sense. I'd say the biggest problem with this movie really is its villain. Compared to the original movie, it's just not that interesting. Because, like, with the original movie, with the puppet master, he had more intriguing motivations. It was a much more sort of a more fleshed out character, whereas this one's just like, oh, it's this type of stock villain, and that I thought was kind of disappointing. But yeah, I mean, like, if you're curious about seeing this movie, I'd say definitely do it. I probably recommend watching the original one first if you haven't, and then watching this one just to compare. But yeah, I think that's really all I got to say about that.
Okay.
Nice.
But yeah, for April 7th, this upcoming Friday, we have Going in Style and Smurfs too. So
yeah,
Smurf
my
fans
movie
out there?
no.
Yeah, my movie theater. We're actually one of the few. We're actually getting a special release of the movie Your Name. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Oh yes, the anime, right?
Yep, that's the one. So I think I might try to see that when it comes out.
Oh wait, is that coming out just now?
So I think this weekend it said it's a few select locations they're going to be showing it. I don't know if it's just for this weekend or how long it's going to be. It might be with the case of when we had the Sailor Moon movie, we only had for the one weekend. So that might be the case here as well for Your Name.
Huh.
Because I had heard that was a 2016 movie. I saw like Chris Stuckman's review for that.
Yeah, and he really liked it, and yeah, like I'm really looking forward to it. I might even take my brother to go see it.
Yeah, shout out to you, James. You're taking your brother out like every single week. We hear you say it, so good on you.
How was that Sailor Moon movie? Did that do good in the box office, or?
I mean, not really. It's actually like that Sailor Moon movie was originally made back in 1993. The only thing special about this was they got a new English voice cast for it, and like if you're a Sailor Moon fan, it's fine. But the only thing, like I think I mentioned one episode was they have a pointless 10-minute Q&A. And then
you mentioned that. I do recall that.
And they have and then the 20-minute like short film like reintroducing us to these characters, and like if I were a Sailor Moon fan, like I would probably most likely already know these characters. So why do I need a short film to remind me of who they are?
They really baked on a new audience.
They have a 20-minute interlude, like a completely unrelated short film, and then
I mean the DBZ movies never did that.
Oh, Dragon Ball Evolution.
Ugh. You just have a bad memory and you try to yell it out.
So who's looking forward to Smurfs: The Lost Village?
I've heard it's from early reviews. I heard it's better than the previous ones. I've never been the biggest fan of those.
Mm-hmm.
So never was really much of a Smurfs kid.
Is it tracking well, like at your theater, or?
Well, let's see. I know we had like a special sneak peek of it. Like, so there's like one day where we had like a 4:30 showing last Saturday. I didn't work that day, so I couldn't tell you how well it did.
But you think it's gonna do well, or?
I mean, the only other kids movie that's out is like Boss Baby and Beauty and the Beast.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Hard to say.
Okay.
Well, you know what? The last one's made the first Smurf movie, if I'm not mistaken, made about 560 mil. So they make money.
Yeah. I don't know.
Dude, that's making more than Power Rangers is right now. I mean, man, that movie is in a slump.
What are the numbers like for that one?
So Power Rangers, they're in 100 million all in. It's only made. It opened to 40 million domestic. And
Good
so
start.
far, it's only made 73 worldwide so far.
Damn. But that is excluding some of the overseas market, right?
Yeah, it hasn't opened in China or Japan yet, so, I mean, maybe, but it's...
Fingers crossed that bumps it up.
Domestic total isn't looking good, though. I think they said it's going to have like a 58 or 59% drop-off this weekend, which is probably like only like 17 million or something. So, yeah.
Damn, that's a shame. I was kind of hoping that, it didn't do the greatest its first round, but I was hoping for possibly it to get a sequel.
Yeah, that's what the effect of early reviews is nowadays. Like, people really take reviews seriously now because it's so expensive to go to theaters. So
that's totally right, dude. Because currently it's at like a really low mark.
Yeah, it's in the 40s, I think. So
I think it's just bad timing. Like Beauty and the Beast is still like destroying the competition.
Yeah,
like I think the only movie that I can think of that'll probably like give it a run for its money is when next Fast and Furious movie comes out.
I think that's the next big movie.
I think that's going to be not as big though, honestly, because people are not really like hyped up for it. I think
has the marketing not been the greatest for that movie because it's coming out in 2 weeks, and I feel like I've I haven't really seen too much promotion for it.
Yeah, and plus, interesting. Well, we'll talk about this in a minute, actually. But yeah, I think that's all the movie stuff that we have recently. But we'll talk about the Fast and the Furious thing in a little bit. But moving on, though, we do have our news portion of this episode. So the first topic is actually that the Creature from the Black Lagoon movie, the reboot that's going to be inside of the new Universal Monster Universe, has hired the writer of Aquaman to pen the script. So finally, some kind of development for the movie.
It's so funny that they got Aquaman writer to do the Lagoon Monster.
Yeah,
I think that's funny.
And it was also rumored a while ago that Scarlett Johansson was going to be the female lead in the movie, like the girl that the Creature is always after or whatever. So.
Wow, they didn't get an actual Lagoon Monster to portray a Lagoon Monster? This is ridiculous.
So, I don't know. Are you guys looking forward to this movie, or like just the Universal Monster movie universe in general? Because The Mummy is coming out. That's the first one now.
I'll tell you what, if they can impress me with The Mummy, then I'll probably be more open to a new Creature of the Black Lagoon movie.
Yeah.
But I'm still not sure about that Mummy movie. Like, I can't, like, every time I see that trailer with Tom Cruise falling in the plane, like,
yeah, they dubbed over his scream.
Ah!
I mean, no, I think they should probably keep that scream, honestly.
Yeah, but I can't say that I'm particularly excited for Black Lagoon monster movie, because I'm not all too excited for the monster movie universe in general. I wasn't there clamoring like,
dude, I'm so hyped for it. Oh my god.
I think after all these new franchises, we need to bring the monsters back.
We do need the classic monsters, the Titans.
I don't know how they would do nowadays. So I think I like James said, I want to see how the Mummy does.
Okay, yeah, it is interesting
For
too,
me, at
because
least.
the way that they're going about the Mummy is so different than even the Brendan Fraser movies. Like this version of the movie universe seems so much more serious than those movies, right? So
because those had like elements of comedy.
yeah.
Yeah, with Tom Cruise screaming.
Yeah, exactly. well, that's the only comedy that we see in the trailer. Yeah, but I hope that they don't play the tone so serious in these movies. Like, it is. Technically, like if you look back at the old monster movies, like yes, they are fairly serious. If but it was a product of the time, I guess. So it would be nice if they played it a little bit humorous. Maybe not so much like the MCU kind of tone, but like having some kind of subtle jokes in there. Maybe like I'm trying to think what would be like a good comparison tone for their universe. I'm not sure really. Yeah, I'm wondering how are they gonna like actually bring the monsters together? Like how are they gonna connect all these? Because it seems like Russell Crowe is like the Nick Fury or something.
They're gonna need an Agent Coulson to band together.
Yeah, so I think I think that's Russell Crowe's character. Jack, I think he's playing Hyde, Jekyll and Hyde or whatever. So.
Yeah, I think that might be a good way to go about it.
But yeah, I think we've said a piece of the Universal Monsters.
I know that's the most we can really say.
Unfortunately, there isn't really any news to go off of on the Creature from the Black Lagoon, other than just the writer has been hired, so that is a step forward for that movie, I guess. So, but the next piece of news that we have actually, it's a pretty substantial thing. It's basically a wrap up of what happened at CinemaCon, because, as you guys know, CinemaCon is like a yearly thing that takes place over a week. I think it's for all the kind of theater distributors and stuff. It's like Comic-Con for theater owners and things like that, where studios bring all their slates and pretty much show off what's coming to theaters for that year, so theaters can actually say, okay, we want this movie in our theater, blah 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 blah.
Buy our movie.
Yeah, exactly. So they show a ton of footage. They show stuff like that, interviews and whatnot. And, there was a lot shown. There was a Jumanji footage shown, Dark Tower, Alien Covenant stuff. I think there was a lot of stuff from Disney, like their whole slate. So, have you guys been keeping up with the CinemaCon news? Like, Michael, do you see any of the stuff that came out of there?
Yeah, surprisingly I have. Prior to this year, maybe just because I'm a little more involved with, like, the movie news stuff now, I never really knew about CinemaCon, to be honest, or I feel like it wasn't as publicized or something.
Yeah, it's kind of... I always saw news from it or something, but I didn't really, like... This year I definitely did keep up day to day what was happening, like all the panels and stuff, so...
Yeah, I heard some stuff about the Disney movies. Like, I saw them putting up their own kind of time slate, but not just with their superhero stuff, but with their other animated and live action stuff.
Yeah,
So
Star Wars, all that.
Yeah, so Disney is crazy packed for the next like year and a half, 2 years.
Definitely,
What
yeah.
else did I see? I think I saw interviews, a couple of those.
Also, a cool thing too, they showed Blade Runner footage too. I forgot to mention that. But what's interesting is they screened 2 full movies. They screened Pirates 5 and Fast 8. So,
Yeah, actually, I saw Collider Frosty tweets on Fast and Furious.
yeah.
I didn't know about Power Rangers. No, Power Rangers. Pirates.
Pirates.
How was the response to that one?
Pirates, the response I saw overall was pretty good. Like, people were saying it's the best
Wow.
one since the first movie, which I'm like, wow, okay. Like,
That's a
I'm
pretty good
excited
compliment.
now. So,
All right.
yeah. James, do you catch up on any of the CinemaCon updates and stuff like that, or?
I actually did. I was mainly paying attention to the Disney stuff, mainly because there were rumors that they were going to show footage of the new Star Wars movie. Like, ooh, I gotta see this. Like, maybe are they going to show a trailer? And
No.
they didn't really. All they did was they showed like it was like a 15-minute clip of like Daisy Ridley, so not a full trailer. So I guess we got to wait for Star Wars Celebration for that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was trying to pay attention to that. I'm really looking forward to the new Wreck-It Ralph movie that they're gonna have.
Oh, yeah.
Ralph breaks the internet. So I think it'd be really cool to see what Ralph does with the internet world
Yeah.
and how he interacts.
Okay.
And then like with the Jumanji movie, like I heard like some people are not really happy with it.
Yeah, that was pretty
like
big.
yeah, like I'm trying to remember like what I read. Like they changed the game from a board game to a video game, I want to say.
Yeah, I think that's what was going around, and caught some interesting words on Twitter for some people.
Oh,
getting
also-
curious about it.
They revealed that the title is going to be Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle, so that's the title. But, yeah, they changed it so essentially, like, the whole plot of the movie is, like, the characters in the actual movie are basically, like, high school teenagers or something that get put into the game as the characters, right? Like, so one of the characters becomes The Rock or something, like, in the game only, though, so...
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Huh.
it's like it's an interesting way to do it, but at the same time, like, wait, but it's just like a game where you get transported in there and you like turn into like a video game console thing. I don't know. It just seems weird. Like,
So
I'm not so overprotective of a lore to like Jumanji, but it's just one of those things you'd expect them to at least keep to that, because I feel like it's a board game. It's Jumanji.
yeah, but I mean, then again, they're always trying to figure out, okay, how do we update this? How do we reboot it and blah 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 whatever. But
Exactly, make it modernized for the new kids who probably don't play board
yeah,
games.
who
or on
plays
their
board
cell
games
phones and
anymore? They
whatnot.
just play their iPads and.
Hey, I play Connect 4 every now and then, so.
Every time my brother visits from college, he always kicks our ass in Monopoly.
No, Battleship
Ooh,
Battleship got legit.
or Jenga.
Jenga is super intense. Oh, what's another one? I play a lot of those card games now. But anyway.
Yeah.
Hungry Hippos.
Yeah, exactly. People don't play board games as much as they used to. I mean, there are. It seems like, actually tabletop games are becoming a big thing now. Like those kind of card games, tabletop games. It's not really board games.
Definitely.
But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think what else came out of CinemaCon. Stuff that I took away from was the Alien Covenant footage was pretty substantial. They showed like a pretty spoilery scene from the movie. That was a thing. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, Kingsman showed off a trailer. I didn't actually read the description for that one though. But yeah, I think that kind of wraps up our news segment. If we want to go move into our trailer talk for the week, you got two big trailers actually. We got the trailer for It, and the second trailer for War for the Planet of the Apes. So, Mike, what did you think of the It trailer?
Yeah, so the It trailer, be very familiar with the original, source material of It. But that being said, this trailer is breaking numbers. If I'm not mistaken, it racked up like the highest number of views in the first 24 hours for a trailer of the year.
Yeah, it did actually. It broke records somehow. I was like, what?
Yeah, I didn't even realize that at first. But the trailer itself, I thought it was a good teaser trailer. Gives me a creepy vibe, especially the clown looks terrifying.
People love clowns. 24-hour
Yeah, I'm
records.
surprising because there was that like murder clown like epidemic happening in the early in the
Clowning,
year or
yeah.
whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess people really have a soft spot for clowns. What do you guys think about it?
I really enjoyed this trailer. Like, it was like you do not want to watch this trailer in the dark. It is oof, very scary. What I also liked about this trailer is because in the original I'm going by the original movie that came out back in 1990.
Yeah.
They split into two parts. The first part dealt with the kids. The second part dealt with the adults. In this trailer, it's nothing but the kids, and I think it would be great if the movie just focused just on the kids and leave the adult portion out. Because I think with a lot of Stephen King stories, one of the things that Stephen King really does best is stories that deal with kids. So you think of like movies like Stand By Me, the first part of it, even some lesser stories like Children of the Corn. Like, his kid characters like are really fascinating. Plus, it's got one of the kids from Stranger Things, so that's an A+ in my book.
Yeah. Well, actually, this is being developed as a duology, so the second movie is going to be about the adults.
Oh.
So.
Well, hopefully it'll be good, because some of Stephen King's stories that deal with adults aren't. Some of them are good, but
Yeah, what about the Mist or the Dark Tower series? Yeah.
I only saw parts of the Mist. I'm both very excited, but also kind of concerned with Dark Tower, because like, for a lot of Stephen King fans, like, Dark Tower is like one of the top stories by Stephen King, and it's a series that you do not want to mess up.
Yeah.
Or they will notice.
Yeah.
I think, the great thing that I took away from this trailer is that they're going in such a different direction than the original 90s movie, because, even if you look back on that, like, people have so much nostalgia for it for some reason. Like, the only really redeeming quality is Tim Curry's performance as Pennywise the Clown, but other than that, it's pretty dated stuff, and it's not the best version of the actual source material, which is the novel. But the trailer, to me, shows me that they're going to be more faithful to the original version, where Pennywise wasn't so much as a kind of jokester, but more so the kind of horror clown. And, I'm interested to see how they approach it. It's from the director of Mama. I don't know if you guys saw that. It came out in 2013, I think. It had Jessica Chastain in it.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I thought, that movie was okay, and I think that this director, the trailer is atmospheric. I'm looking forward to it, so I don't really have much to say about it, but the good thing is that the movie comes out in September, so we don't have too long to wait for it.
September releases.
Yeah, it's actually the start of September. I think it's the first Friday of September, yeah. So, but, the movie's shaping up good to me. I don't know why people are complaining about it. I think a lot of the backlash, too, was how Pennywise looked. I think a lot of people are upset about the whole kind of Victorian era outfit that he has on instead of the classic kind of jester clown costume, but it's all just costume. I don't know what you're complaining about a damn costume.
I think it also the fact, like, they intentionally make him look like a scary clown.
Yeah.
So, like if I were a little kid and saw that clown, like, I'd be booking it. Whereas opposed to, like, Tim Curry's clown, like, Tim Curry looks innocent enough, and then once he lures you in, then it's too late.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to this movie, definitely, and I hope it lives up to expectations, because if not, then I don't know what you do with it at this point. Just don't touch it again, ever. Just never reboot again. But moving on to the second trailer we have this week, War for the Planet of the Apes trailer 2. I'm not sure if this is the final trailer, because they still have about 3 months or so before the movie's out, so I'm guessing there'll be at least one more trailer, but this one, I think, sets up a lot more of the story beats and kind of gives you some motivations behind both sides of the characters that we have in the movie. Woody Harrelson and then, obviously, Caesar. So, Michael, what'd you think of this trailer?
Honestly, I always forget this movie's coming out, and then every time I remember it's coming out, I get super excited, and this trailer just reminded me of it. I am very excited for War of the Planet of the Apes. I'm a big fan of the second one. I like the first one a lot as well. The trailer, it looks dope when you see Caesar, like, towards the middle of it, just get, like, really frustrated, because the first half is very much so doesn't show them fighting. It's just like the build up to it, and then the second half when they're actually engaging in this war with the humans, it looks like it's going to be epic. They managed to make these freaking apes look more realistic every single movie.
Yeah,
it's I'm excited. How about you guys?
Also, a lot of people forget too, Matt Reeves is the director of this movie, who did the first Cloverfield and the second movie, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and he's also directing the upcoming Batman movie with Ben Affleck. So I think I think a lot of stuff, it's gonna be hinging on like how this movie does and kind of getting a feel of how he does movies, because really he's only done those 2 movies so far, and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is regarded as really good. People really like Dawn a lot more than Rise, so I hope it works out. James, what are your thoughts though?
I'm in the same boat as Michael. I'm really excited for this movie. Like watching the trailer, you see the apes, they become more sophisticated in their speech, and I'm looking forward to like the dialogue that Caesar has. How Andy Serkis doesn't have an award for his portrayal as Caesar, I'll never know. Because like Caesar is like one of Andy Serkis's best characters, aside from Gollum.
Yeah, so I don't know why Andy Serkis doesn't have the Oscar yet. I mean, he's just done amazing like motion capture work over his whole career. It's kind of crazy, but
exactly.
Any final thoughts though on Planet of the Apes? Like your final expectations or something? Or?
Is if the movie can even if it can be as good as the second, or come just like right underneath it, I'll be very happy, because it's going to be done by the same director. The way that the story's leading up for the final act of the trilogy, it's lined up to have a good story, so I'm excited.
Yeah, and also you were saying this too while we were watching the trailer before we started. How this is all going to tie into the original movie, like how it's all leading up to that timeline.
Yeah, who you don't know. Maybe by the end of it, the apes take over, and there's like a time skip, and it just ends off with an updated version of the beginning of that movie. Who knows?
Yeah, because the astronauts are still in space. So.
Exactly.
But I think that kind of wraps up our trailer talk for the week. We want to move on to our final segment where we talk about your viewer questions. So thanks again for submitting these with the hashtag AskHybridMovies. So our question this week comes to us from Scotapire Pop Cult Fan. He says, "Who here wants a slasher cinematic universe?" Ooh. I think he also kind of brought up an example here, saying like there was some in past movies there was like Easter eggs of like Chucky and like a Freddy movie, or like Evil Dead had like a Freddy and Jason Easter egg or something like that. Like if they were to theoretically kind of create a shared universe of the more slasher type characters.
For me personally, I don't think I would want one, but I do see what you mean. They have done little like teasers and Easter eggs, I guess, before these kind of cinematic universes were the main thing out there in Hollywood. I wouldn't want one, but I could definitely see some cult followings wanting it. Nick, how about you?
I think it'd be best if they kind of kept it more subtle rather than trying to cross them over, because like we all saw what happened when they did the whole Freddy versus Jason thing in the past. It was kind of a nightmare.
3D!
And not a good nightmare, just a bad one. It was just a horrible
movie. Not in
movie.
line with the character.
But yeah, I don't know. That it just doesn't seem like those kind of worlds mesh together. Those kind of slasher worlds. They all have their own kind of unique flavor to them. So I don't know.
And that would just be one, instead of just being multiple really messed up worlds, that means it would just be one really just murderers everywhere kind of a world.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if that would work. But I mean, I guess they could do it. I don't want to see it personally, so that's my thoughts.
And I mentioned this before too, before we recorded. Are those kinds of movies still super popular now? Or I thought those were kind of done. Like, we don't see as many slasher films nowadays.
Yeah, the last time we had heard about it was the Friday the 13th reboot that got canceled. So
maybe they might make a return. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, what was it that I think Paramount actually canceled it, and then the rights reverted back to Warner Brothers.
Universal or Warner Brothers? Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe they'll resurrect it with a different approach. I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm sure they'll bring back those kind of movies soon. I think there is actually a new Chucky movie coming, as far as I remember. I might be wrong, but
oh, I think I do remember a new Chucky, like a trailer or something, like a year and a half ago. No?
Yeah. So, I mean, who knows what they're gonna do? I'm sure they'll bring those characters back in some capacity, but I'm not sure if I want to see them in a cinematic universe per se. But
thanks for the question, though.
Yeah, thank you for that question, and I think that brings us to the end of this episode. So, thank you guys again for checking out Hybrid Movies, episode 13. And if you want to get your questions answered next week, just drop them down below with the hashtag AskHybridMovies. And if you want to find us on social media, you can follow me on Twitter at who's_Nick. And you can find me also, on the YouTube channel Hybrid Network. Mike, where can people find you?
Yeah, guys, of course you can check me out on my YouTube channel at Failwell34 and on the Hybrid Network on the videos and podcasts. You can check me out on my social media, Twitter and Instagram at Failwell34 and FailProduction1.
All right, awesome. So thank you guys, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Take care.